Welcome, dear viewers, to a new episode of our program Trend. Now, of course, when it comes into choosing your sport, it's very important for everyone to choose the kind of sport that they like, because being healthy is something very important, but at the same time, you have to enjoy the things that you like. With that, we're going to head to our report to know more about our sport and our guests, so stay tuned to this. The Winter Games in Kuwait stood out remarkably, and there were wide participation in the Winter Games with many awards and medals won. The Winter Games are an international sporting event, and countries compete to win the largest possible number of prizes in it. And the competition in the Winter Games is very great. Welcome back, dear viewers. Now, having a sport is something very interesting, but at the same time, having a coach and training different kind of skills and abilities for the learners is the most tough and challenging thing that you could actually face in your favorite sport. With that, we're going to know more about coaching, and especially when it comes into figure skating with our guests, so stay tuned to this. The Winter Games March witnessed a continuous change in the number of games from one session to another, where new games were added or replaced with other games, and this was often preceded by the addition of these games as experimental competitions in previous sessions in which medals are not contested. We are going to know more about Winter Games in Kuwait, talking about figure skating and the role of the coach in coaching and taking the responsibility for training all of the skaters. Welcome back, dear viewers. We're really happy and delighted to welcome with us here in the studio of Trend our coach Leia Felipe. She is one of the Kuwait Winter Games Club coach, and we're really happy to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be here.
So, of course, when it comes into talking about figure skating and talking about Kuwait Winter Games Club, now I'm very sure that everyone in the ice ring have asked you, have approached you when they saw you training the girls in the ring itself. Tell us about you at the beginning. Why did you choose this career and why did you choose this sport?
Oh, it started when I was 12 years old. It was my brother Lawrence who took me to the ice rink on my birthday. And that day is the most special day in my life because it changed my life, not only mine, my whole family's life.
Yes.
So after that day, I started taking lessons, and just in a span of 2 months, I was able to compete in Hong Kong.
Wow.
That was my very first international competition. And then it followed, and now I won 14 golds, 9 silvers, and 6 bronzes in the US.
Yes.
And also a couple of 100 gold medals in Asian competition.
Yes.
So that's how I started.
That's really amazing and remarkable to hear. So we have actually a
Thank
champion
you so
here
much.
with us in the studio, and we're really lucky to have you here. Of course, sharing your experience and presenting it to our viewers. We want to know more about being a coach. Now we know it is very different and very challenging. Being a player and being on ice, presenting yourself as a competitor is way different than presenting yourself as a coach in the place itself. Tell us about this kind of shift that actually happens in your life.
That is true. Actually, not all very good figure skaters can be a very good coach.
Yes.
So it's only few who could do good at the same time. Well, for me, it's with my expertise. I gained it through training and experience, because I've been teaching more than 20 years.
Yes, mashallah.
So, mashallah, yeah. So I've learned so much as a coach, and everything that I learned, I apply it in my teaching right now.
Yes, so it is very important for you as a coach, and especially as a previous player, to actually have that kind of love and passion when it comes into practicing the sport that you like, and of course trying to present what you learned through this journey and give it and transfer it to your students. Tell us about that kind of experience. Now, I'm very sure that students and learners get attached to their coach, especially if you started from the beginning with them. We want to know more about this story and about this kind of bond that you actually build with your learners.
That is a very special question. I love all my skaters equally, but in a different way. So and also the way I teach them is different as well. So teaching skaters, I teach them in different way by knowing who they are, by their personalities. And I start teaching them when they are younger. So I build this relationship for years. Like I have skaters who started at 4 years old and now they're under teenage years, and right now I could say that I'm a mother of so many skaters on the ice, and that bond, it's one of the reasons why I am still here in Kuwait for 8 years now, because it's so hard to leave when you have skaters who are in line with your goals, and their goals become your goals too. And you can't just leave, and for nobody will take care of them when you go. So to me, being attached to my skaters is also an advantage, because they listen to me, they do what I say, they respect me, they trust me. And not only that, also the parents. So I'm very thankful for the parents, for their trust and support with everything that I advise to them, and everything, my ideas, they just fully support me. Now it's so hard to gain their trust, so it takes time, but I'm very grateful, especially for the management, Kuwait Winter Games Club, our head, Mr. Fahid Al-Ajmi, and also Captain Salem Al-Ajmi, and our manager, Farah Al-Kalaf, and Captain Yusuf Al-Kadri. Sorry, I have to mention them because, they gave me so much support, me and our skaters.
Yes, of course.
That's
and
why.
To be honest, talking about this kind of, let's say, a relationship that you have with all of your skaters, and the responsibility that you actually have and when it comes into training them, maintaining their safety, of course, when it comes into being in the ring and trying, let's say, to avoid any kind of injury. Tell us about, because you told us that you even, let's say, trained 4 years old skaters. So this is a very critical, let's say, and sensitive age, because parents would be really concerned. They're really afraid for their child or children not to fall down and not to have kind of any injury. So tell us about that. Tell us about that experience, especially dealing with the small, let's say, children.
Falling and accidents, it's so hard to stay away from, and safety is my priority, but prevention is the best. So for younger girls at 4 years old, we recommend in the beginning they wear helmets, elbow pads, knee pads, anything that could protect them from if they fall, because nobody learns from not falling.
Indeed.
All of them, they have to experience it, learn from it, learn to get up from it, or learn how to fall properly. Because there is really a way to fall properly. So we recommend this, but we don't guarantee that skaters won't get hurt. So just that.
Yes. Well, when it comes into falling, I'm the master at falling, and I learned by experience how to avoid falling in a very, let's say, critical way. To be honest, this is one of the sports that you actually enjoy, though you fall maybe sometimes in trying to do a movement, but you are going to always love it and have an addiction to it. You can never ever stop skating on a ring if you learn skating. So when it comes into teaching these skills, trying to find the balance, try to take and abstract that kind of fear from a learner and try to present it in a positive way that you believe in yourself and you can skate. How can a person, let's say, develop? Do they need a certain time, or it depends on how they practice in the ring?
Well, this is the very big role of a coach. The skaters learn through passing levels. So we teach them from the basics to build foundation. If they have a great foundation, they learn easily. They go higher level easily. Easier than when you just skipped up and just do anything you want to do. So these maneuvers in each levels, they were there for years, like couple of years, maybe 50 years for a reason. So that's why it's very important for me. I follow this maneuvers for them to learn, because everything they learn from the basic, it's applied in all the maneuvers in the higher levels. So this is, I follow this very carefully because it will help them in the future.
Yes. So talking about you being a coach, and not only for ice skating, but also for figure skating. Now, figure skating is very, let's say, amusing, but at the same time, it needs lots of practice, lots of choreography presented, and the way it actually, you start to compete with different kind of competitors is challenging. Tell us about the things you actually do, the choreography that you plan, all of the things that is really important for everyone to know about figure skating. This is a big field now we're talking about.
You know, figure skating is one of the most difficult sports in Earth. It's imagine you're skating on a very thin blade and on a slippery surface. So you apply choreography in it. I love choreographies. So if I teach choreography, I also depend it in the personality of the skater. For example, like you're a jolly person. I would choose some music that's jolly for you. So it would fit your character. So sometimes I do like this. And it depends on the competition that we're going. That's how we choose and use music to compete with. Sometimes we go to ISU competition where they only do 1 to 2 dances. Sometimes we go to America, to US, and they do 5 to 10 dances. So I tell you, one competitions before, I made 154 dance in one competition. So like I cut the music from cutting to teaching the maneuvers. So it's a lot of work. But at the end, when you put heart and passion to what you're doing and you enjoy it, it won't feel like it's a work. It's like, you know, I just enjoyed every minute teaching them the dance, and until the end. For me, I tell my skaters, it's not about the gold you're winning. It's about how well you performed on a competition. It's how you beat your personal best. Of course, a gold is a cherry on the top, you know. But yes, I always tell them that each competition is just a stepping stone. It's gonna be more competitions in the future, a higher one. So like today is a stepping stone for them.
And that's the most important thing. Enjoying yourself when it comes into the sport that you actually practice, and always try to remember that when you're competing, you are actually trying to represent yourself in the best image that you always wanted. So thank you very much, and we wish you all the best luck.
Thank you so much for having me.
And with that, the viewers, that was our guest today. We learned more about figure skating, but not only through the players themselves, but through the coach. Therefore, hopefully, maybe you would consider figure skating as something or a sport that you would like to learn. With that, the viewers, we let you be, and join us again in different kind of episodes.